And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees.
Truth. So hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time.
In a shocking turn of events, Sean Diddy Combs' legal troubles have taken a dramatic turn, with his own lawyers reportedly revealing why they believe he may lose his lawsuit and potentially face life in prison. The music mogul's empire is crumbling faster than anyone could have imagined, and the latest developments paint a grim picture of his future. Diddy, once the king of hip-hop and a titan of the music industry, now finds himself slumped in a courtroom chair, his hands fidgeting as his legal team argues desperately on his behalf. The man who built an empire on charisma and ambition is now fighting tooth and nail just to salvage what's left of his tattered reputation. And according to insiders, it's not looking good. His legal team is working overtime, but even they seem to be running out of tricks up their designer sleeves. Whispers from inside the courtroom suggest that Diddy's own lawyers are privately admitting defeat. The very people paid to defend him are now saying he's headed for a life sentence. This admission has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. The allegations against Diddy are staggering in both their scope and severity. We're not just talking about one accusation or one lawsuit. This is an avalanche of claims that paint a damning picture of a man who allegedly operated with impunity for decades. According to insiders, more than 100 individuals have come forward with stories, some dating back decades and others as recent as a few years ago. One of the most shocking elements of these allegations is the level of detail provided by those speaking out. Former associates, employees, and even individuals who claim to have been close to Diddy have stepped forward, sharing stories that range from troubling to downright horrifying. These aren't just anonymous faces. Many of these individuals have ties to Diddy's inner circle, making their claims even harder to dismiss. The lawsuits have been piling up since late last year, starting with a bombshell filed by Diddy's former partner, Cassie Ventura, in November 2023. Her allegations, which were settled within 24 hours, opened the floodgates for others to come forward. While Diddy's team has maintained that settling the lawsuit was not an admission of guilt, critics argue that the rapid resolution only raises more questions. Cassie's case became the catalyst for a wave of legal action, with multiple individuals filing lawsuits in the weeks and months that followed. One of the most notable cases involves Joy Dickerson-Neal, who accused Diddy of misconduct dating back to the early 1990s. Her story, which includes allegations of being taken advantage of and recorded without her knowledge, has drawn significant attention. What's even more shocking is the alleged role of Diddy's associates in these incidents. According to court documents and insider accounts, several of Diddy's closest confidants are accused of enabling or even participating in some of these troubling incidents. Harve Pierre, the former president of Bad Boy Entertainment, has been named in at least one lawsuit, with claims that he played a direct role in facilitating some of the alleged actions. The accusations don't just stop at Diddy's associates, even his business operations have come under scrutiny. Former employees of Bad Boy Entertainment have come forward, describing a toxic work environment where inappropriate behaviour was not only tolerated but allegedly encouraged. These accounts have sparked a broader conversation about accountability in the music industry, with many questioning how such behaviour could go unchecked for so long. Perhaps the most troubling aspect of this entire saga is the alleged involvement of individuals who claim they were targeted or exploited. Many of these individuals, some of whom were aspiring musicians or models, have described feeling powerless against the weight of Diddy's influence. According to their accounts, they were often lured in with promises of career opportunities, only to find themselves caught in situations they couldn't escape. As the legal proceedings continue to unfold, the impact of this scandal extends far beyond Diddy himself. It's forcing a reckoning within the music industry, challenging long-held norms and practices. Many are calling for sweeping changes, from increased oversight to better protections for young artists and employees. For Diddy, the road ahead looks increasingly treacherous. With each new allegation and lawsuit, his legal team faces an uphill battle. The court of public opinion has already begun to render its verdict, and the damage to his reputation may be irreparable. But beyond the personal consequences for Diddy, this case has the potential to reshape the entire landscape of the music industry. As we continue to watch this saga unfold, one thing is clear. The days of unchecked power and influence in the entertainment world are coming to an end. The Diddy case may, well, be remembered as the tipping point, the moment when the industry was forced to confront its demons and institute real, lasting change. Inside those prison walls, Diddy was still trying to exert control. Whispers began to emerge about his attempts to reach out to individuals connected to the case. Prosecutors claimed he had tried from behind bars to contact witnesses and victims, a move that only strengthened the court's resolve to keep him in detention. Though Diddy's legal team vehemently denied these allegations, the rumours painted an unsettling picture of a man desperate to maintain his grip on a crumbling empire. His courtroom appearances became a theatre of contrasts. On one hand, there was the public face of Diddy, composed, occasionally flashing smiles at his children and supporters, mouthing words of encouragement to his son during a hearing. On the other hand, there were the quiet moments when his exhaustion and anxiety seemed to seep through the cracks. Observers noted how he sometimes slumped in his chair, his hands fidgeting as his attorneys argued on his behalf. In some ways, Diddy's presence in court was as much about symbolism as it was about his defence. His legal team seemed acutely aware of the optics, fighting tooth and nail to allow him to appear in court without shackles. The argument: shackles could create juror bias, potentially influencing how the public and eventually a jury might perceive him. The judge agreed, granting the request, but the larger battle was far from over. With each hearing, the stakes felt higher, the tension in the room more palpable. Outside the courtroom, the spectacle continued. Media outlets dissected every detail of his case, from his legal team strategies to his interactions with family members during hearings. The public, too, was divided. Some saw Diddy as a man wrongfully accused, a scapegoat in an industry rife with similar scandals. Others viewed him as the embodiment of everything wrong with the unchecked power of celebrity culture. As the courtroom session ended and Diddy was escorted back to his cell, the whispers continued. There were rumours of new lawsuits on the horizon, of more individuals preparing to come forward with stories that could further dismantle his legacy. His legal team, visibly weary, huddled together, strategizing their next move. For Diddy, the battle was far from over, but the cracks in his armour were becoming impossible to ignore. The magnitude of the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs is something the entertainment world hasn't seen in decades. The sheer number of accusations, the variety of claims, and the high-profile nature of the case have created a whirlwind of scrutiny that has engulfed not just Diddy, but the entire music industry. With every passing week, more voices emerged, adding to the weight of the case against him. The allegations, which range from coercion to elaborate conspiracies, have painted a picture of a man who allegedly used his power, wealth, and influence to operate in a way that many are calling unimaginable. The most damning aspect of this case isn't just the accusations themselves, but the sheer scale of it all. According to insiders, more than 100 individuals have come forward with stories, some dating back decades and others as recent as a few years ago. Adding fuel to the fire are the lawsuits that have been piling up since late last year. It all began with a bombshell lawsuit filed by Diddy's former partner, Cassie Ventura, in November 2023. Her allegations, which were settled within 24 hours, opened the floodgates for others to come forward. While Diddy's team has maintained that settling the lawsuit was not an admission of guilt, critics argue that the rapid resolution only raises more questions. As the trial looms, the world watches with bated breath, waiting to see what new revelations will emerge. The narrative is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be even more explosive. Will more victims come forward? Will his legal team manage to turn the tide in his favour? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of the most iconic figures in modern music history? The impact of this scandal extends far beyond the realm of music. It has influenced fashion trends, beauty standards, and even business practices. Diddy's once sterling reputation as a music mogul and entrepreneur has been shattered, with brands and business partners distancing themselves from him in droves. Revolt, the television network he co-founded, announced in November 2023 that Diddy had stepped down as chairman. As we look to the future, it's clear that both the music industry and society at large will be grappling with the fallout from this case for years to come. The Diddy scandal has become a flashpoint for discussions about power, accountability, and the dark underbelly of fame. It's forcing a reckoning within the entertainment world, challenging long-held norms and practices,